What's up? This your boy Tony Farrah, and in today's tutorial, I'm gonna teach you guys how to sync vocals to the beat and also cut vocals to the beat. All right, let's get started. So basically, what I do, I already have in Adobe Premiere. So what I like to do is you double click on the audio file. When you're syncing audio or vocals to audio, what I like to do is I like to find an end point on my audio first. This helps with the, I guess, the pace of cutting, so you can find your space or your place where you want to actually start lining all the vocal clips up. Like I said, I like to start off with finding a end point, and that's what I'm about to do now. All right, so I found my end point pretty quick because that was a clear word, which was B-I-T-C-H, bitch. So I'm gonna start with that word. So let's go back and I'm gonna play it again so you guys can see what I'm doing. So basically, in and out. The I is for in and the O is for out on my computer. It may be different on yours. So this is what I do. So when I hear the word bitch, I basically hit the N, the I button on the I key on the keyboard. So that's the end point. And then at this point, it doesn't matter how far I let it play. I just want to just go out real quick. So once I grab my in and my out, I come in and I just actually drag the audio into Adobe Premiere, or into the sequence. So I got my end point. So bitch is my end point. So I'm just giving myself a little space here. All right, so I know that's my end. And like I said, I'm gonna set another end point right here. Now, the artist that we're working with is Peso Benji. I just shot this video this past weekend. There's some dope artists. They're actually signed to Teflon Media as artists, and we're pushing their single right now. So this song is their first single. Well, actually, I wouldn't say single, but it's definitely a song that we're interested in pushing and getting out there. All right, so I'm gonna grab this clip. Let me see which clip I want to grab first. I'm gonna grab this clip first, and I do the same thing with my clips. I double click the clip. The clip appears up here, and I start from the top. And I'm just listening for that bitch. That sounds crazy, but I'm just listening for that end point, which is the word bitch. That's what I use. So I passed. I think we actually had to start this over. Let me check. All right, so we did. Okay, so let me get the very beginning. All right, that was a word. I'm gonna go back in so you guys can hear that and see what I'm doing. All right, that's the end point. Hold on a second. All right, so I grabbed the in, and now I'm grabbing the out. And like I said, it doesn't matter where your out is at this point. You just want that end point. So once you got your end point, you want to grab the track. And I'm sorry, this is really one of my first tutorials, so this is kind of rough, but I will get better, I promise. All right, so I dropped it in. As you can see, it's dropped in here. That's my end point. So all I have to do is snub this track right on up to this end point, and this should be aligned. Let's listen. All right, so to me, that sounds on point, and you see how quick that was. I didn't have to do a whole lot. I just found my end point, and now I'm just looking for those end points on each clip, which is the word bitch. All right, so that's in there. All right, so I'm gonna mute that track. I like to just kind of drag it out the way, and this is the second clip. I'm gonna do the same thing on this clip. And action. I think this is the one where we had to do it a couple times.
The music's being annoying.
So let me go ahead. We didn't have a sound person, man. We had the lovely Rosa back there. Here we go. Let me bring it in. She's trying to get it right. All right, here we go. So here we go. endpoint. I think I was a little early, so I'm gonna go back, make sure I get it on point. All right, I got it on point then. I'm gonna hit my endpoint. Now you can click this here. This is an end. As you see there, it tells you I is the quick key. All right, and then here's O for out. All right, so I got my end. I'm just giving it a little space. I hit my O. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in. I'm gonna move it kind of out the way. I'm gonna make a new audio track just by dragging it down, and I'm gonna go over to my endpoint. I have this muted, so this one is playing. Let's listen back. Looks good to me. Looks in sync perfectly. Let's see. Like I said, sometimes you may miss the keyword that that you're using as your endpoint, but if so, if you got some good headphones or you editing with some good speakers, you should be able to hear it. But like I said, sometimes you may be off of frame. Like on this particular case, I was off of frame, so I moved it forward 1 frame and perfect. Actually, I think let's go back and let's move it 1 frame up. Make sure it's on point. All right, so it's on point. I didn't have to move it but 1 frame forward. So now I can mute the track. Now that's my second performance shot. And I'm gonna throw in 1 more performance shot just to kind of get to the next portion of this tutorial, which is like cutting to the beat. I'm gonna show you a fast way to do the cutting. All right, so in this clip, we actually started more at the very end of the hook. So I think we're at the second portion of the hook. So the word bitch will come in on the second portion of the hook. So. Let's see, here we go. Endpoint, boom, got that. Out point. Now, so I'm gonna go in this to the second portion of the hook on the actual in the sequence here. Let's see, I'm gonna drag this out just because I know it's not long enough. Drag it out a little more. Here we go. Here we go right here. All right, so that's the endpoint. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark in. Marker, put a little marker there for my reference. Then I'm gonna go ahead and drag this into the sequence, which I said I'm drag this down, just create another audio track. Drag it over. Let's make sure it's synced up. Give us a little space. Bring this down a little more. Yeah, that looks good to me. So that was it. I got them all in there, and it didn't take no time other than the small camera recording issues I've just been having with this cheap card I'm using for no reason. But anyway, okay, for the second portion of this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to cut a lot faster than you probably have been cutting. And this is literally, I'm just, you don't even really have to look at the clips. This is something you can do when you're shooting something you're shooting a video that's a quick video. So the guy, the girl, or the artist, or whatever, they need the video back pretty quick. And it's more of they just need a visual. And so it's not a whole lot, you need to worry about. There's not like a ton of B-roll or a lot of storylines. So what you can do, and even if there is B-roll, I mean, you can always throw your B-roll in after you do what I'm about to show you. So let's go through it. All right, so I got all the clips lined up, and I'm gonna just start where we at. I'm gonna start right here. So what I like to do is, for every beat, I'm gonna just go ahead and make a cut through all of the tracks, all of the tracks here. So here we go. I don't think you want issues. And I cut either on snare drums or bass drums, and bass drums seem to be like the best way to cut. Snares sometimes create a harsh looking cut, but you may want that look. But I like to cut on the bass drum. A combination of both, whatever looks best at that point. So usually when I cut this way, I just cut on each bass and snare as as fitted for me. There go a bass, boom, cut all 3. Snare, that's snare drum, cut all 3. Bass drum, cut. Snare. Bass drum. These are all down beats. Snare. That's a little offbeat there. You can use those. You can use the offbeats too, because those are actually kind of cool. It kind of breaks up the monotony of cutting on drums and snares all the time, because there's always, you know, little offbeats that you can cut on as well, where there may not be a bass drum or a snare hit. You gotta have rhythm though to cut on the offbeat.
I remember I was down bad and I ain't going back no more.
Cut, boom. Cutting all of them.
I'm ready to go chase the cash, fuck a bitch, I really ain't stun no hoe.
Cut.
The niggas be claiming they really be
Cut, that's an offbeat.
having to be the main niggas broke.
Cut, that's a downbeat drum, bass drum.
Trying to ride everybody way, got dick.
Snare, boom, we're done. Alright, so I'm basically almost halfway through his verse, and I just literally did that in no time. Alright, so now we start here, and now I just start looking at it. I know I don't want to use this one first, so let's not use that.
I don't think you want it.
I like that.
Nah, he don't want no it.
I don't like that, so I'm gonna see what this looks like up underneath.
He want issues. Nah, he don't want no
I like
issues.
that.
For the money part,
That works.
Pay my money, come and get you.
Alright, I'm gonna cut this one.
I don't think you want no issues. Nah, he don't want no issues.
I like
Play
that.
with me, nigga, go play with your bitch.
Alright, let's cut this one, and let's cut this one.
40 came with a dick.
That looks good to me.
40 came with a dick.
Alright, we cut here. Let me just minimize this a little bit so you guys can see a little better.
I don't think you want issues. Nah, he don't want no issues. For the money,
And sometimes you can add your other little additional cuts in there while you're working, so that's why I just did
want
that.
no issues. For the money part, itch.
Cause I had a lot of space in between the cuts.
For the money part, itch. Pay my money, come and get you.
Alright, so let's get rid of this one. Yeah, I like that.
I don't think you want no issues. Nah, he don't
Alright, we can get rid of this one and get rid of that one.
want no. Think you want no issues. Nah, he don't want no issues. I remember I was
like
down
that.
bad and I ain't going back no
Get rid of
more.
that.
I'm ready to go chase the cash, fuck a bitch, I really ain't stun no hoe. The niggas be
Alright, so I got some cuts in there.
no hoe. The niggas be claiming they really be having to be
Alright, I can leave that one. And
the
let's
main
get
niggas
rid
broke.
of that.
Tryna
Let's see what that looks like.
Tryna ride everybody way.
Alright, so that's it. I cut through half the verse just that quick. And like I said, this is a fast-paced way to do things. You can do this on professional projects, which I like to think all of my projects are professional. There are some projects you may want to take more time on. So in this case, this particular video, this particular tutorial, I'm just giving y'all another way to cut fast when you need to get something done. And like I said, you can do projects that you would typically spend more time on this way. But you just got, like I said, you definitely need to know what you're doing. Don't just jump in and edit a client's video this way if you don't know, if you're not really, if you're a novice or you're somebody that's just kind of getting into video editing. I would say take your time, look at each clip, and really be selective on the actual clips that you want to use in the video. That's just going to help your production quality and make your video that much better. And then also it's going to make your client happy knowing that you took time to do to cut up their video, to edit the video. Me personally, I can do it this way because I've been doing it a long time and I know what I'm looking for. So I can look at these clips and I can look at the body language real quickly and tell if that's something I want to use or not. So I suggest you guys take your time if you're a beginner at editing. If you are been editing a few videos and you're kind of used to Adobe Premiere and you want to edit this way, that's cool. But like I said, you don't want a cookie cutter type video. You want to always have originality in all your work. So this is your boy Tony Fair. I'm wrapping up this tutorial once again. This is a quick way to sync audio to the beat along with cutting to the beat on music video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and comment. Thanks.